In section 3 of Unit 8, we are going to look at adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. And in this first section, we are going to have them start with common denominators. And later we'll be looking at finding common denominators. And so let's zoom in on number 1 here. So if you look at number 1, notice we already have a common denominator. Okay? And so the rule with algebraic fractions is when you already have a common denominator, let me just look at a numeric one. If I have 2/7 plus 1/7, denominator is already the same. I add the tops, denominator stays the same. So that would be 3/7. Same thing's going to be applied to algebraic fractions. Now you got to be careful. And the same rules apply when it's subtraction. Notice this one is subtraction. And we have a binomial on the top of the first one, algebraic fraction, and a binomial over here. Be really careful, so we're going to combine into our one fraction over a common denominator, which we already have, so we don't have to do any multiplying. But we do need to distribute that opposite sign, or that -1, to that binomial up there. So I'm going to have x minus 2y, and then I'm going to distribute -1, so it's minus x, and then plus 6y, because negative distributed to negative makes it positive. We're distributing that -1. Now I'm going to look to combine like terms on top. I have x minus x, which if I put them together, they drop out. And now I'm going to combine my -2y and plus 6y. So that is 4y all over 20 x cubed y squared. If you notice, we ended up with a monomial over a monomial. So I can do some reducing. I can reduce my coefficients on top and bottom. 4 goes into each of them. 4 goes in there once and in there 5 times. And I can reduce this y with one of these, and leaves me with a y. So I'm basically left with just 1 on top, and then on the bottom I have 5x cubed and y. So 5x cubed and y. Let's go down to number 14. And we'll do an add example. So this one is add. Notice my common denominator is m squared minus 3m minus 18, so I already have denominators the same. So I'm going to combine into over that common denominator, write as one algebraic fraction. Now when this is a plus sign, distributing a positive 1 to this keeps it as m plus 4. So I have m plus 6 plus m plus 4. I distributed my 1 through, and now I'm going to combine my m's on top, so that would be 2m. I'm going to combine my 6 plus 4, which is 10, and it's over m squared minus 3m minus 18. Now the one thing you really want to be careful of is, notice I have a binomial on the top, trinomial on the bottom. I want to factor and see if anything reduces. It doesn't reduce a lot, but you need to check this. So if you notice on top, I can factor out a 2 from 2m plus 10, and I'm left with m plus 5. On the bottom, I have a trinomial, so I do my AC factoring. So product in -18, sum of -3, which is going to be -6 and 3. And remember in the last section, if a was 1 here, really these two pairs, you can just put them in there. Again, that doesn't work when a is not 1, or your squared term does not have 1 for a coefficient, but it will work here. So this is going to be m minus 6, m plus 3. And that is your answer. Nothing does cancel, but you do need to check that, because sometimes things will cancel. Now, you could go back and say this is your answer, which is non-factored form, expanded form, but checking to see if anything cancels is what you need to do.